Good afternoon, Flosstube. It's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. I'm back today to do a whip parade. My thinking behind this is our worlds have been turned upside down. Many of us are home, and there's so much negativity going on around us. And last night, there's only so much of that I can watch of the news. I try to keep myself informed the best I can, but at the same time, it's depressing. It's negativity. So yesterday, after watching the news, I decided to combat that negativity with some positivity. I went upstairs to stitch after dinner, and until between dinner and bedtime, so many of you Flosstubers kept me company. Farm Girl Michelle, Liz and Deb of Country Stitches, Marlene Stitching by the Lake, just to name a few. I just let Flosstube play and focused on my needlework and taking notes, and I guess it's a kind of a way of healing from the day's events or from what you've heard for that day. So I thought today I would do a whip parade. I have several. I'm going to pan you around so you can see them real quick. That's my whip container. I thought I would go through several of them. I would try to keep this video under 30 minutes. And like I said, I'd combat the negativity with a little positivity. Before I get started, I will say that today, to also occupy my time, instead of working around the house today, I decided to make some project bags. So I have a container here with some of the different things that I need to make them. And on top, you can see two folded pieces there. It's two placemats. They're Americana, just like this. Can you see this tablecloth? It's just Americana. I bought two extra ones when I bought this tablecloth and thought I would make project bags out of those. And this morning I've already cut out fabric for 6 project bags. So these are things that I've had on hand for a while, things I've wanted to do and put together. But I'm usually in the road. I'm usually busy on the go, and I'm not home. So with having this time at home and doing all these home projects, today I thought I would do some finishing and a little sewing. So you can see the handle of my sewing machine case here, and my dining room table is actually where my sewing machine will be shortly after this video is made. But until that time comes, I'm going to share with you some of my whips. I'm going to do it in no particular order. I'm just going to pick them at random from this box, and I'll try to, or tote, and I will try to put them in the back so that if I don't get to them all, maybe I can do another video tomorrow if you all enjoyed it, and I will judge that by any comments that I get. So hold on, excuse me just a second. Once again, it's just pollen. I don't get tickles in my throat till I start talking. But I'll get started now. So hold on, here we go. First one is Road to Bethlehem. This is by Shepherd's Bush. I got this from a friend several years ago. She lived in the area and she was moving away, and she and I stitched a lot together. And she had a box out in her garage of things that she didn't think she wanted to stitch, or she didn't want to stitch anymore. And I brought them home, picked out what I wanted, passed them to another stitch friend, and this was the piece. So it's Road to Bethlehem, Shepherd's Bush. And this is my small start. Shepherd's Bush to me is just one of those designers that you know is Shepherd's Bush when you see it. There's no question. It's the color palette. The little shepherds, they're always shaped the same, the little people. And it's kind of like Paulette Stewart. She's the same way for me. When I see one of Paulette's designs, I know that it's hers. This next one is by the Bay Needle Arts in my father's house. I've always loved this design, and I started this in Mania 2 years ago. And you can see the colors there, and you can see I didn't get much done. I didn't even bobbinate to get the threads bobbinated. But here's my very small start. I started in that tree there because those trees are some of my favorite elements. Well, I love everything about this one. The house, the trees, the different shapes. It's a beautiful piece, and I love the yard here with the sheep grazing, the flowers, and the verses. There's portions of 2 different verses from the Bible. I really like this piece. When I get through with this, you'll understand over the past few weeks why I've been talking about getting my lips under control. I think they're going to bust out of this container, and I really don't want them to unless I've got a handle on it. So I think I have made progress. I've made some starts this year. I'm not going to limit myself to starts, but I did get several already done this year, which makes me happy. Okay, the next one is Love Squared by the Sweetheart Tree. This time last year, I was working at a different office, and this was my lunchtime piece. So I would only work on it a few minutes at lunch every day, and I didn't get it finished before I moved to the new office. So basically the majority of the actual cross stitching is complete, other than, the lettering for the other 3 letters of the word love. And then the borders around those letters are specialty stitches and back stitching, lazy daisies, that kind of thing. And it's very beautiful. The color palette is not necessarily mine, but like I said, this was just a lunchtime piece, something to calm my mind during the workday. And I thought maybe at some point I could make a needle book out of it, maybe gift it, maybe not. This is one that I started as a stitch along with Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche last year. Birds of a Feather by Blackbird Designs. I've seen others stitching this year, and I think it's now out of print. But I had purchased that on 1-2-3 Stitch sometime at the beginning of last year. And I do want to finish this one this year. It's on a piece of mystery fabric. I don't know what the fabric is, and I just love it. I love it. I wish I did know what it was. It's only slightly, it's over-dyed, but it's slightly mottled. And I love the feel of it, and I love the dense weave of the fabric, but this is my start on that. This is one that I do, like I said, I hope to pull this one out and finish it this year. So I'm going to put that to the side. I want to keep that in the front so I want it finished this year. I'm sliding out of the frame of the picture, aren't I? This is Brenda Gervais, Quaker Handwork. This was a stitch along, I believe, that was initiated by Lynette of Homesteading on the Homefront last year. And I think, you can't go wrong with a Brenda Gervais pattern. It's beautiful. I love the color palette. And I had a small start on that. Here's the threads, the majority of the threads. And I've got 1 DMC stuck in there. So I obviously was using what I had on hand. And I got more done than I thought. Here you go. I don't remember the fabric choice that I had. Yes, I do. This is an XG Designs piece of fabric, which I love her fabrics. And this is Grandma's Slip. I had won it in a giveaway from her. And it goes perfectly with this design. So that was Quaker Handwork by Brenda Gervais. If you have any questions about anything I show, you can just leave the comments below. I doubt very seriously I'll go through and put the names of all the patterns down below like I normally do, because I don't know how many I'm going to get. This is Tidings of Great Joy, La-dee-da. I bought this when I was attending the New Jersey retreat, the first New Jersey retreat. And it is stitched on a silk weaver fabric, Quaker cream. It's a beautiful piece of fabric, but it's a tiny itty bitty start because I actually started this. That's my start. I was actually in the airport leaving from the New Jersey retreat to head home, and that was what I stitched while I was in the airport. And I've said it before, and I said it yesterday, La-dee-da is just one of my favorite designers. I love her color palettes. I can generally pick her things out without even knowing that it's hers. All right, this is one I picked up at 2 years ago in January. This is Caroline Behringer Summer House Stitch Works. And I picked this up at Sassy Jack Stitchery at the first Nicola Parkman workshop that was hosted there. And what I loved about this piece is it's stitched in wools, and I wanted to work with them. I think they're beautiful and luscious, and the colors are just so rich and vibrant, and I wanted to work with them. Beautiful, but not really my thing. I don't necessarily think it's the thread so much as it maybe is the fabric. I don't know what type of fabric I chose, but with the wool I have to use shorter lengths of thread than I would normally, because they'll fray, get fuzzy. But as far as color-wise, they're absolutely stunning. But this is as far as I got. This is another one I would like to finish this year. It's not very high up on that list, but it's not the pattern's not that big. It is something that if I focused, I could probably finish it within a month. In fact, I'm sure I could. This was another Mania start. This is a Blackbird design class piece. I did not attend the class, but a friend of mine did, and she passed me her kit. She wasn't crazy about the piece. A Simple Wish by Blackbird Designs. And I made a very small start on that piece. These are the threads. Once again, they came in a kit. And here's my small start. Blackbird Design colors. Their color palettes are just stunning. Can't go wrong with the Blackbird piece either. This is a Paulette Stewart design. I bought this one at Sassy Jack Stitchery on the way to a Katrina Boyd retreat a couple of years ago. I stopped by Sassy Jack's on my way up to Pigeon Forge from home. And this is a beautiful design as well. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I love the colors of fall. And here's the thread. They're all classic color works. And here's my start. This is another one. It wouldn't take much to finish this up. Maybe a month. It'd be nice to have that out for fall this year, wouldn't it? It would be nice to have all of these finished. Oh, this is the, what would you call it? excuse me. This is the designs by Works by ABC, Arlene, for the first New Jersey retreat. And I was going to do it in my own color palette with this, excuse me, with Week Style Works taffeta. And I was also going to use some beads. These are showing up teal, but those are the iridescent beads that are purple and teal together. And I didn't get much done on that. I did start it at the retreat because they gifted us the pattern along with a cut of fabric to stitch it on. And once again, there's the taffeta. And I thought I would stitch the outside with the thread and stitch the wording with the beads. Those are always nice little designs to get when you go on retreats, to have one specific to the retreat. I've always thought it would be nice to have them in a book from the different retreats I've attended together, but it's just a thing to do. Oh, this is a North Orbit design. I started this one. This was number 2. In my Mania starts, the first time Mania was done. And I always like to bead as I go. This is on one of those Weigert printed fabrics. I don't remember the name of this fabric, but it kind of looks like clouds or storm clouds. And then the other side is just plain. So it's the printed fabric. It is beautiful. And Gardenia will be beautiful when I finish her one day. Let me show you to her again. She looks like a lightning bug to me, not like a gardenia. And that's what drew her, is the shape of this part of her dress. But you'll see over time with some of these how my tastes have changed. And you'll also see as I talk how many of these were actually Mania starts. And I both have a love and a hate relationship with doing Mania. But this is Cooper. I started this last year with Olivia B. She's finished hers. I did not. This is when we were working on this when my dad first got sick. And so I think I dropped everything for a few months, didn't stitch for several months. Oops, that's my pattern. And that's when I first started doing the floss drops, thread drops. And these are the colors. I think they were beautiful. And I tried to pick a tropical paper to do my thread drops on. And then I had a drop where I just put the name of the pattern. I didn't bother to put when I started it, but I'm sure I can look that up on Instagram. And here's my start. And this one's actually housed in some point last year as well. Was it last year? Year before last, actually. I was using the placemats. These are the Pioneer Woman placemats to make project bags, and I used this one to make a couple of the boxed corner zipper pouches for my daughters to put their makeup in, and made a couple for me for project pouches. And I love it because they come already quilted. I think they're $2-3 for the placemats, and they're just beautiful. So there's that one. I need to put this one to the side. I noticed my girl Jen, Felicity Stitches, had pulled this out. She and I were talking the other night, and makes her think of me because we bought these and started them together last year when we attended the Nicola Parkman class at Sassy Jack's. And this is AC Bluebird Quaker sampler. That was such a great time. met so many wonderful stitchers, Robbie, and got to meet Ellen face to face. Just real good memories from that class. And I made a small start. I'm going to put this to the side, Jen, so that I can stitch along with you, even if it's just a few stitches. But she showed her progress this week, and it's beautiful. And so here is mine. She's further than me, of course. But just a beautiful piece, and I need to get back to that. So Jen, now I have these pouches. I've got a lot of these type of pouches. Our local needle workshop that is no longer in business used to sell these in the mesh zipper pouches, and I like them because I can see into them, and there are different sizes. There's bigger ones than this. Those huge, if you know what I mean, those huge low-ran magnetic boards. I know there's one that's large enough for the largest one to fit into, but I don't even know who makes them. There's no name on them. So I'm going to put that in my this year stack. Alright, and these are some that I ordered last year on Amazon, and there were like 9, 12 that come. I don't remember the cost, but it was minimal. I wouldn't have bought them if they weren't. But I've been taking them this year as I empty them from projects that I finish and putting smalls in. And I was thinking of maybe next year doing a year of smalls. But what's housed inside of this one is Lizzie Kate's Prayer of St. Francis. I changed the colors up a little bit. The colors are more muted in this than they are in true color. So these are the colors I chose. They're still a little more vibrant than normal, but I did mute them down some. And this is my start on that. So I've got 2 lines. I only have 2, 4, 6, 7 lines to go. So that's something I think I could finish pretty quickly. I'm really impressed with my back on this one. Oh. Yeah, that's right. You're looking at my back. Are you? Yeah, you are. On my side, okay, that's because I can read Lord while I'm looking at it. Okay. I think I'll show you one more. This one I think it is. I think this one needs to go in this year pile too. If this is what I'm thinking it is. Oh yeah. This is a La-dee-da. It was a mystery sampler some years ago. And it's called Margaret Cotton, age 9. So there were 3 parts, and in each part, of course, you got a portion of the entire sampler. And I haven't opened a couple of the pieces, but I have opened, this is the one I was working on. So this side is the picture, and I'm going to do it quickly. That side's the pattern. Hence the long shape of the pieces. So there, like I said, there's three pieces in the pattern, and let me show you my start. I did start this and was doing this at work, and I can't do a proper floss showing because I've got a nest in there. This is the colors, and this looks like a week's dye worked, but this is, oh, I really need to get back to this. This just bumped up really high on my, I think after I finish the Baby's Alphabet Zoo, I'm going back to Margaret Cotton. So that's all I'm going to show you today. That's not very much. We didn't get very far. I'm happy that you chose to spend some time with me today. If you watched this video, like I said, if you enjoyed it and you want me to, wouldn't mind sitting with me to go through a few more of my WIPs, maybe tomorrow, just leave a comment below. But in the meantime, I do have an idea that I'd like to run past everyone. And there's not a lot we can do right now to help what's going on. But I thought this community is so good about spreading kindness and love. And as a postal employee, the mill's still running. What better way to spread some love with just putting it into words. So today I decided for the next few weeks, I'm just going to send out some cards, some postcards over the next few days, few weeks, just to spread a little happiness, because I love to get letters in the mail. When you guys send cards, postcards, I have a board up in my stitch room that you can't see when I film, but I stick them up there. And so this week, today, I'm sending out a postcard and a couple of notes. So why don't you join me in this? It takes so little just to send a letter. So little. And if you don't have stamps at home and you don't want to go out, your carrier will bring them to you if you just ask for stamps by mail envelope. Or if you have a rural carrier, they generally have them with them. Just leave a note in your mailbox. Let your carrier know. They'll bring you some stamps you can get these letters out to people you love. So once again, be well and stitch, and spread some positivity. Spread a smile. Until next time, bye-bye.